Let's start with one of the biggest questions in the UFC right now. Dana White has officially addressed the rumors that Alex Pereira could vacate the light heavyweight title and move up to heavyweight, potentially for an interim belt against Ciryl Gane. And this isn't just random speculation anymore. Dana was asked directly about it, and he didn't shut it down. He said Pereira is one of those rare fighters who always steps up and does whatever the UFC needs. And if Alex wants to move to heavyweight, they'll work with him. That's huge, because if Pereira vacates the light heavyweight belt, that division immediately turns into chaos. You've got Jiří Prochazka waiting, Jamahal Hill lurking, Magomed Ankalaev still in the picture. The second that belt becomes available, it's a scramble. But if Pereira moves up and fights Ciryl Gane, that's a completely different risk. Heavyweight is not light heavyweight with bigger gloves. It's different speed, different power, different durability. One clean shot changes everything, and the big question is simple. Does Pereira's style translate upward? The power obviously does. The size is there, but heavyweight power is different. A heavyweight can shut your lights off with one mistake. At the same time, Dana was also asked about Khamzat Chimaev potentially jumping divisions again, and this is where Dana drew a line. He said he would prefer to see Khamzat defend his belt before moving up, no more bouncing around without defending. That's interesting, because the UFC seems open to Pereira chasing history, but wants Khamzat to stabilize first. And while all of that is unfolding, another fighter just forced himself right back into the middleweight title conversation, Sean Strickland. After his TKO win over Anthony "Fluffy" Hernandez, Strickland didn't waste time calling for big fights, including Khamzat Chimaev. Let's talk about that fight first. Anthony Hernandez released a statement immediately after the loss. He thanked Houston for the energy, congratulated Sean, and admitted he was the better man on the night. He said he was riding an 8-fight win streak. Everything felt smooth until the body shot landed 6 years without a loss, and then one moment changes everything. If you're enjoying the updates so far, feel free to hit like. It helps more than you think. Strickland responded in the comments calling him a warrior. Backstage though, Sean had mixed emotions. He talked about understanding the duality of fighting, how incredible it feels to win, but knowing the other man is walking away devastated. And that version of Sean Strickland looked different. Daniel Cormier pointed something out that not enough people are talking about. He said if the version of Strickland that showed up against Hernandez shows up against Khamzat, that fight becomes very interesting. DC said that even Israel Adesanya, at his peak, struggled badly with that exact version of Strickland, but when Strickland fought Dricus du Plessis, he didn't look the same. His body language was off. His corner seemed frustrated. Something was missing. Against Hernandez, DC says the champion version of Sean was back, and Khamzat noticed. Khamzat responded to Sean's call-out online, writing, "Habibi, calm down. I destroyed the guy who beat you twice." That's not subtle, and footage surfaced of Khamzat watching Sean's post-fight interview, clearly locked in. Now here's the real question. Can Strickland defend takedowns for 25 minutes against Khamzat? That's the fight. Not striking, not trash talk, not press conferences. Can Sean stay on his feet? Because if he can, that becomes very uncomfortable for Khamzat. Speaking of uncomfortable, the UFC Houston post-fight press conference took a controversial turn. During the conference, Strickland went on a rant involving Aspen Ladd's coach Jim West, making allegations that led the UFC and Paramount to cut his microphone mid-sentence. The live broadcast muted him. Immediately, fans online started reacting. YouTube comment sections flooded with accusations of censorship, fans claiming the UFC silenced the only entertaining fighter in the division. Strickland later doubled down on social media, saying he wasn't fighting Hernandez, he was fighting Jim West. The situation is messy, it's controversial, and as of now, the UFC hasn't released a formal statement beyond cutting the mic. Dana White was later asked about Strickland's behavior. He said when you ask dumb questions, you get dumb answers. He suggested media sometimes push Sean intentionally, but regardless of where you stand, Strickland once again became the center of conversation, and that might be exactly what the UFC needs in that division. Meanwhile, another UFC staple made headlines for a completely different reason. Bruce Buffer. Buffer confirmed he has zero plans of retiring anytime soon. He said every time he steps into the octagon, he feels like he has to prove he deserves to be there. He openly stated his goal is to announce UFC 400 before even considering retirement. 30 years in the octagon and still hungry. That kind of longevity is rare. Elsewhere in the MMA world, footage surfaced of Khamzat Chimaev sparring Khalil Rountree, adding more speculation about potential weight class shifts. If Pereira moves up, if Khamzat defends, if Strickland gets the shot. There are a lot of moving pieces, and here's what makes this stretch so interesting. Multiple divisions could change at once. If Pereira vacates light heavyweight, that division explodes. If Khamzat fights Strickland, middleweight shifts again. If Pereira fights Gane, heavyweight suddenly gets very dangerous. This isn't just matchmaking. This is a potential reshuffling of 3 weight classes, so I want to know what you think. Should Pereira chase history at heavyweight, or should he defend the light heavyweight belt first? And does Sean Strickland deserve the Khamzat fight next? Let me know in the comments. If you're enjoying the daily updates, make sure to like the video. It helps push these to more fight fans. I'll see you in the next one.